Hello and welcome to week 2 of Watch Your Mouth Sister. I'm your host, Anne Marie. I'm here with my two sisters,
Kathleen,
Megan,
and today we are going to talk about being raised Catholic. We were raised from birth. You could consider us cradle Catholics. And
describe what a cradle Catholic is.
a cradle Catholic is somebody who is born to a Catholic family, and they are baptized immediately after birth, within a few months, I would say. And then they start going to either Catholic school or catechism, which would be if you went to public school, you would have to go to extra religious classes. And you would do that pretty much all the way through 8th grade until you made your confirmation. And then they let you loose, unless you went to a Catholic high school, Catholic college, and so on.
I think it's important to point out to the listeners too that cradle Catholics are the elite of the Catholics. So if you're a convert, you kind of really don't count. Well, I mean, is that not the attitude?
That is the attitude, yeah. And we can say that being cradle Catholics who no longer practice Catholicism.
Yeah.
So our parents spent a lot of time and money to make sure that we were raised Catholic. However, as we got older, we made some other choices and went to maybe some other churches. And our mom was absolutely horrified and said we were Catholic. You can't just be another religion. And I was like, was that the mob? Like, you can't get out?
which is sort of funny because she never went to church. Dad never went to church. We are the ones that always had the guilt of going to church. And we had our grandparents that took us almost every week. Mm-hmm. And then also grade school, Catholic grade school. I think Grandpa foot the bill for that one.
I mean, the blood runs deep because how excited was everybody when Pope Leo got chosen?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, right. Even though
I felt, yes, I'm Catholic. I have an opinion about this.
Yeah, it's the big event.
It is
the big event. It's the closest thing to Jesus Christ himself.
Is Pope Leo from Chicago.
Well, yes. And my son being not Catholic and growing up knowing that we were Catholic, he was excited about Pope Leo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really strange how they just grasp onto that because they just never.
It's like a cult.
It is.
It is a cult.
It is a cult. If you think about it, I had a really good friend growing up. She's still my best friend to this day, who was not raised Catholic. And sometimes she would go to church with us on Sunday. And you have to think from an outsider point of view. You walk into this church and everybody's chanting the same thing, kneeling, standing, sitting at the same time, and also with yous and everything. And that has to sound like a cultish thing because everybody's doing the same thing at the same time.
But isn't that sort of comforting though? Like growing up in it, it's just a comforting thought, like because you're doing it every single time, you know it, you feel proud of what you're doing because.
Do you know?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think.
Do you pay attention? Because after grade 3, you're probably, I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth.
No, because you had it all memorized.
Right. So you
That's
just
true.
Zoned out, and we didn't have phones back then, but you can bet we would have been
texting each other,
looking at our phones.
There would have been none of that in school, though.
No.
None.
Catholic school, we went to church on Tuesdays and Fridays, holy days of obligation, and on Sundays. So it was a rigorous.
So sometimes 4 times a week.
Rigorous mass situation. The good thing about Catholic school, though, is going grade 1 through grade 8, and it was like a family. You had the same 25 kids in your class for 8 years, and you were your own little mob, your own little 4th grade mob.
Yeah, I only went 1st through 5th, and we had a small class of teens.
The family ran out of the cash to send young ones.
Possibly.
Or maybe you were beyond redemption with
that
questioning everything, Megan.
I did. I questioned everything. But I decided to spread my wings and share my elite cradle Catholicism with my public school friends.
Did you really? You talked to them about school and church and
Not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
So let's go back to maybe when you were younger and we were starting out. Maybe you were in first or second grade. And Megan, you want to tell people all the questions you had for our mom about going to church and prayers?
Yeah, I was pretty inquisitive as a kid and had a lot of questions, the Bible and everything. And quite frankly, from a young age, I just wasn't buying it. And I wanted to know what a womb was because that was mentioned, Mary's womb. I wanted to know how you turn the body and blood of Christ into from the Eucharist and the wine into Christ's body and blood. It just didn't make sense to me. And I'm a very visual learner. I'm still a visual learner, and it just was a little bit of witchcraft for me. I believed because if I didn't, I was going to burn in hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a lot of questions, so I pushed back a lot. I pushed
And
back.
what about what's with all these these and thous and these prayers, Mom?
Yeah.
That was another big one. And how about Grandpa's reaction to you even asking him about the body and blood?
Yeah, Grandpa almost had a heart attack when he was talking about the body and blood of Christ, and I just pretty much looked at him like, "Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. See what's out, buddy."
And he said, "It's the symbolism, Megan.
Yeah.
It's symbolism."
Well, let's face it, when you're 6 and 7, you don't understand symbolism too much. So here you are making your first Holy Communion in second grade, some of us twice. And we I did, I snuck it in. So we did like not understand, like, okay, we get to drink wine. Hell yeah, we're gonna drink some wine. You don't even realize it till like you're older, like, okay, it's symbolism. It's not really supposed to be what they say. You really think they're gonna make it. But
see, I thought I would be getting that cup and it would be bloody sanguineous blood in there. I was freaking out walking up there because we practiced, but that was with the wine. It was before the big change.
I'm gonna tell you, there was nothing worse than making your reconciliation.
Oh,
You're in, again, second grade.
reconciliation, for all of those who don't know, is confession. That's the second sacrament. First sacrament being baptism. Second sacrament is reconciliation or first confession. So go on with that.
So you had to go and sit in this little booth, and you can kneel, and there's a curtain between you and the priest. Or if you were brave enough at the ripe old age of 6 or 7, you can do, they call it face to face, and sit face to face with the priest and confess your sins. Please tell me what kind of sins you have at the age of 6 and 7 besides disobeying your parents.
Yeah, pretty much. Disobeying your parents, stealing my sister's socks.
I tell you what, I must have been. I don't know what was wrong with me when I was younger, but for a while there, I did a lot of face to face.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I couldn't. I was quaking in my knees when
the priest's reaction. You were you like to get a rise out of people. So
That's
I could
probably
see you
true.
saying things and looking at the priest. How many Hail Marys are you going to give me for this one?
But I didn't say anything like off the wall. It was mostly I talked back to my parents.
Use the Lord's name in vain.
I took my sister's clothes without asking.
Yeah. And then second grade, I just still can't get over the fact it's wrong. I might have peed my pants. I did. I peed my pants. It was horrible. What?
Wait a minute. Okay, so I just had an epiphany here. So you had snuck in just a few minutes ago that you had to repeat second grade twice. Did you have to make your confession?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't have to do that.
Okay.
So what did you do?
It was myself and someone else that
there were two
we did.
of you.
Yeah, there was two.
Okay.
Yeah. There were two that were left behind. But no, we didn't participate in any of it. We just we did like the Bible stuff and everything.
In the library while they were doing all their.
No, I think we went and but they always did it after. They didn't even do like the confession ceremony or the communion ceremony during school hours. It was always on a different day. So you had to go.
Do you remember that when you were in 8th grade, very big honor was bestowed upon you?
Yeah.
During the month of May.
I got to crown Mary.
Yeah, that's a big honor.
It's I was so excited. School. The only thing I was really mad about, I was really pissed, is that up until that year, everybody got to dress up really nice, and they wouldn't let us dress up. We had to wear our uniforms.
Yep. Yeah.
And I remember Mom coming And I was really, really upset. Out of all the things, it was such a big honor that Dad didn't come.
I came.
Yeah, yeah, you
I took
did.
pictures, yeah.
Did you know that Mom also crowned Mary
I
when
do.
she was in 8th grade? So I
No,
carried
she
on the
was
tradition.
She was younger.
Was
They
she
did it
younger?
in a younger grade, like 3rd grade.
Anyway,
maybe if you would have raised your children Catholic, maybe your daughter could have carried on the family tradition of crowning a statue of Mary. And a lot of Catholic people keep statues of Mary, the Blessed Mother of Jesus, in their home. And this is a little side note I was telling Kathleen yesterday was our grandmother had several statues and one of Mary who was gowned in a beautiful blue robe with her feet peeking out, and I painted her toenails.
She did.
And Grandma said, "Oh, Anne Marie, I don't think they had nail polish back in those days." Oh, and of course, so Mary was lily white.
Well, how about our other grandma had the Blessed Virgin out in her yard every year. It had to be painted.
Yep.
And she had to make sure she put it away because she didn't want it to get stolen.
Right.
She was worried about the thieves in her neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what was a racket was taking up the gifts for communion.
Yeah, Megs, tell us about that. You said you had a theory about why you never got chosen to do that.
Yeah, so 13 of us. I never got chosen to take up the gifts.
In all the 5 years?
And the wine or the oil and vinegar and bread. So I never got chosen. And then I was just thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, I know why. I said, those parents are padding the envelopes. They're totally padding the envelopes that they give to the offering, the tithing.
So they want their own kids to bring it up, so they threw a couple extra bucks.
I do. Because I took up the gifts a couple of times during May, because my name was Anne Marie, and they would pick all the little Marys or the Maries.
I think
to take
my
up the
communion,
gifts.
the first one anyway, I was able to bring up the gifts now that I think about it.
Either that or it was the fact that I smelled like 2 packs of Kent's and the
That
pot
could
of
be
coffee.
too. Yeah,
probably.
it sort of had like that aura of Pigpen.
Our parents both smoked in the house. They both smoked 2 packs a day, so we were fragrant children.
We would snarf the smoke of 4 packs of cigarettes a day, and we would get in our friends' cars, and the first words of the parents were always like, "Do your parents smoke?"
It's like, no, I just finished a carton. What kind of question is that?
Especially for like a young girl. Like I'm 12 and I'm struggling with my identity and my body odor and everything else that goes along with it. And then you ask me if my parents smoke. Well, yes, they do. There's not a thing I can do about it.
I do have one question going back, and I don't know why I'm have to talk about this, but why did we have to dress up like little baby brides for the communion?
Yeah, veils.
Veils, white dresses, white shoes, white socks, white gloves.
White underwear.
Good question.
I know.
We were being presented as baby brides.
I just don't know.
The boys got to wear nice little colored suits.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you know what? Strangely, it was so exciting. Like, we loved that as a little girl. Who doesn't love to get a brand new dress?
Yes. Well, also, you think about growing up, getting married, getting your wedding gown. So it was sort of like, it was just like a halfway point.
It was always special in our family because our grandma on our dad's side would either make our dress or take a shopping.
No, that was Aunt Lil that would make the dress.
Well, she would send the measurements to her sister or take a shopping.
But you know what also kicked ass were the parties. For the communion parties. That's where you really got to taste the liquor.
Dad would always get a keg for that one.
Yes, a keg for graduation and first communion. And they would invite the family, like the people you would invite to a wedding.
Couple hundred.
You wouldn't even know the people there. They'd be handing you these cards.
It's like an Italian wedding where they hand you the white envelope with the money in it.
And it was so fun because there were all our cousins our age running around, and our parents were taking pictures, and everybody was getting drunk, and it was always catered, so it was food like we didn't normally have. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Alas, though, those white envelopes never made it our way. The funds went towards the party. Yep, we never saw the money.
Never. And that's how I thought it was done until like the next year my friend made her first Holy Communion, and she's like, I got like $400. My mom's taking me shopping. And I'm like, well, what? Wait a minute. True. I mean, they had the party back then, and that's how they had to do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
at least we got the party.
Yeah, the party was the best part.
So
Right.
it was a lot of fun, and
that was great. Speaking of growing up Catholic, how about all the wakes and funerals and all of the things we had to go to? I feel like we grew up in the funeral home.
oh my gosh,
We did.
well, our family is quite large. Our grandmother on our mom's side is one of 10. My mom's father is one of 5. My grandmother, again on my mom's side with the 10, her parents were from Ireland. So everything was done up, big Irish wakes.
It was a full 2-day event.
Full 2-day event, meals in between. You would go from 2 to 5, go eat, come back 7 to 9. We were, coloring on the floor in front of the casket,
Running around, having fun.
We had no clue who was in the casket.
Nope.
It was
Uncle something.
It just, for a while there, it was several a year. Then as the younger sets started getting older, then we would see everybody at the first communions and the 8th grade graduations and the high school graduations. Our aunt used to say, oh, now you're only going to see people at wakes and weddings. Those are the two big things of wakes and funerals. And along with that comes Catholic guilt, because our family, our mom in particular, would love to be like, oh, Aunt so and so, she was real good to me growing up, meaning her. You need to go pay your respects.
Yeah.
She still does.
Yeah. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm, in college, I have 3 classes and I have to work 3 to 11. And she'd be like, you need to stop by the funeral home and pay your respects. And I'd be like, all right. And then I'd go and I'd be like, where's Mom? And Mom wouldn't.
She would never go
there. She'd be like, well, I'm just going to go to the funeral tomorrow. Like
you were representing.
She made me feel so bad. And now I put that on myself. I'll see somebody that passed away. Maybe I just knew them briefly, or a very, very distant relative. And I think in my head, oh, I probably should go, but I have to work. I can't take a day off work. I've spent 15 minutes with this person in the last 40 years.
Do you feel like you know these people, friends, old acquaintances? You see it all on Facebook or social media, and you're like, oh yeah, I know them. I should go. And then thinking, no, I can't go. I want to go, but to everybody's. But yeah, it's the Catholic guilt. Mom, even to this day, will guilt us.
Well, not just Mom. It started all the way back with religion and Catholicism and Catholic school. Think of how you're taught that you have to do things a certain way, otherwise God was going to punish you for it.
Right.
And that was always the back of our heads growing up, and Mom would always...
We were fearful of God, actually. Instead of knowing God as like a loving being who
accepting,
is forgiving, and loves you for who you are because he created you, it was more a vengeful God.
Yes. There was heaven and hell.
The whole messing around and you fall and bump your head. Mm-hmm. And Mom would say, oh, God punished you.
Yep. Mom doesn't remember that, though. She doesn't remember.
Mom doesn't remember anything that's sort of like on the negative realm of things. She just chooses not to remember.
She chooses, or just that time when we were coming up, it was tumultuous in her marriage, probably from the time the 2 younger ones started grade school. It was probably a big blur for her, because she had the 2 in grade school, 1 in middle school, 1 in high school, and everything that went along with that. I think Dad got laid off around that time. Plus, our dad was a raging alcoholic 7 days a week.
Yeah.
He was either at work or he was home drinking.
He was a functioning alcoholic, though. He wouldn't drink until he got home from work.
Right.
Most of the time.
Towards the end, he would do a few sips before work. Okay, so now that we're talking, I feel like some of the stuff that we've talked about is more on the negative side of being a Catholic. What are some of your memories that you just love about it? Because it made us who we are today. Absolutely. It wasn't a horrible upbringing by any means. No. I feel like there were, as much as there were negatives, there were a ton more positives as well.
Like the parties. We talked about how wonderful those were to see everybody, but spending time with our cousins who were also Catholic. Our parents knew that aunt and uncle would take us to church the next day, so we got to do the sleepovers and the small classes in Catholic school.
Right. All the Catholic school.
Everybody was friends because you had such a small class. Nobody was excluded.
Right.
Right. So do you, okay, so Catholicism and in it of itself, what kind of tradition did you enjoy? I enjoyed Christmas Eve and going to mass on Christmas Eve for the candlelight vigil, like midnight mass. That was one of my favorite things. I love also just the smells. Like walking into a church, just smell. It's like bringing it all home. You go into a Catholic church now, you smell. I feel like I'm home.
This is where I belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
felt
the sense.
that at our uncle's funeral.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and they did the incense and the prayers and everything.
Also,
should we come back?
but also, though, too, we had grief at that point in time. So it was comforting to have that. So you're like, well, maybe I should start going back. And then you're there on your knees every 5 minutes and you're like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Get too old for this.
Right. Yeah, I think I always got excited around the holidays because they would decorate the church really pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would sprinkle in some appropriate Christmas music.
They did.
That was
Holy
really
Night.
based. Yeah.
Joy to the World.
Yeah. And then I loved the kids I went to Catholic school with.
So much fun.
It was so much fun, and it was a great time.
I agree. And I was 10 years ahead of you. My class, I wouldn't wish any one of them.
There's just something wholesome about
everybody,
it, I feel.
You know, everybody went their kind of separate ways after 8th grade. Some went to public school like I did. Some went to private school. There were a couple different Catholic schools in the area that people went to for high school. But it was so great to have those friends for so long. You know, I see them pop up on social media and I'm like, oh, it's so and so. And look, you know, I remember she did this in grade school. And, you know, then I'll spark a conversation. And it's always met with like happy, like, how are you? This is great. I think that, you know, it really instilled in us like values of friendship and treating people well.
And family.
Yeah.
I agree. I also think that some of the things were just quirky going to a Catholic school because it was so small. So we didn't have a school nurse. It was the secretary. So she was like, if you felt sick, you'd go down and she would call your parents for you, and then you'd go lay on the cot until they came.
If they came.
If they came.
Yeah. And the cot was in the hallway with just a partition in front of it.
Right.
So,
I think the secretary was the nurse, the cafeteria lady. Like she just was a jack of all trades. So it was small. There was a principal, the secretary, and I think that was pretty much it. There was like no vice principal, none of that. And then you just had your teachers. And then you did have I don't know if parents helped out with in it, like, because we had our lunches in the room.
Lunch lady.
We did not. We ate lunch
in the sunset room.
In the sunset room.
Yeah. I think when I was in 8th grade.
Lunch in the classroom. I remember some of my friends' moms would volunteer as recess ladies too.
Right.
So,
we had 2 recess ladies who were there grades 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we just talk about your favorite day of the year? And I think of it every March, and it was because we went to St. Joseph. It was St. Joseph's Day. It was one of those fun days where they had fun activities planned all day long. It was a huge potluck, like the whole school. They all brought food for this potluck, and the whole hallway would be lined with all this great, wonderful food. And then we would fill. You don't remember that?
I don't know if I remember.
It was downstairs.
Yes.
So they would have it down in the outside of the sunset room. Yeah, we could dress up every single day. They would have movies. Remember, they have the old-timey movies with the film.
And you know who you sat with? There was always a table you sat with your 8th grader.
Yes.
So you were assigned an 8th grader at the beginning of the year to pray for. And so there would be at your table the 8th grader, and then there would be a couple 7th graders, 6th graders, 5th graders who were praying for you. And it usually was people you knew. So at my 8th grade table, There was my best friend, and then there was Leanie because she was my sister, and then there were the neighbor kids at my table. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that. And I'm not sure if they did that by the time I was in there because I had the last nun um, in first grade. I had the last nun in the school
Oh, really? She was the last one
that was teaching.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember that.
There were three when I left eighth grade, and all three of them left when I left eighth grade.
Yeah.
So
my first grade one was mean. She was really mean. And I just remember she had terrible asthma. She was always hitting her ear.
My first grade teacher was a nun as well, and she was the old school, the whole full habit. And she was very not she was very not stern, very, very stern. She was ruler stern. And she was mean to the boys with the ears. Like she would do the ears. And she didn't let you go to the bathroom. So again, I might have had an accident. So my first grade teacher, she was sort of mean, but maybe that's how I remembered it being a kid. You know how you're always sensitive to it. But I will tell you, the rest of the teachers, if they were none, they were all amazing, wonderful, and I can't even remember like a bad thing to say about them. They were amazing. All of our teachers.
Yeah,
They were fun, really good ones.
Fourth grade, shout out, R.I.P. Mrs. Garricky.
Oh, she was
Best
amazing.
teacher.
She was amazing. So Mrs. Garricky was all of our fourth grade teacher, and she was there for years and years. And if it was your birthday, she wore bright red lipstick. She would reapply her lipstick the morning of your birthday and give you a big kiss on your cheek, and you could not wash it off at all. And it was so funny, but kind of you were proud.
Honorary. It was an honorary.
If you saw somebody in the hallway with their lipstick on
knew it
their
was
cheek,
their
you knew it was their
birthday.
birthday. It was so, and she used to tap dance to the timetables.
She did.
6 times 8 is 48, and then she would tap dance.
Yeah. She was so she
She was
awesome.
great.
Yeah. So all of our teachers were our teachers.
Really sensitive. They got to know us really well.
They did. And they would be like, "Oh, are you Anne Marie's sister?"
Yeah.
Of course. So all in all, I think that growing up Catholic was probably pretty amazing. We have some reservations about it. There were some negatives to it, but I think
But we were the elite. We were the Cradle Catholics.
we were the Cradle Catholics.
Oh my goodness. Well, we would be really elite if we were still Catholic.
That would
However,
be for sure true.
people would still consider us Catholic because we're raised Catholic, but
we're Cradle Catholics.
Yeah,
We're still Catholic.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can't get out.
Well, maybe we need to just start going back to church.
I remember the bangers though, some of those songs.
Oh, the songs. You can remember those songs. Every single one. On Eagle's Wings, that's a banger right there. On that note, everybody, can we just say that is a funeral song?
Oh, there's plenty more of that.
Oh, there's a ton. I can belt them out like anybody.
What's one you remember? Like right off the top of your head.
How about one everybody knows?
Mm.
Let
there be peace on earth. What about some of the upbeat bangers though? You don't think though the mountains may fall and the hills turn to dust? Yet the love.
That was early. That was early. They did. That was real too peppy. I think as.
God loves you.
Do you remember that one?
Come to think of it,
I love you too. All right. So okay, we're gonna just wrap it up with that.
We're embarrassing ourselves.
We are. We sort of are. I'm embarrassed for us. We're so goofy.
It's deeply ingrained in us.
And at any point, and we'll talk about our girls' trips later on, but at any point during any of our girls' trips, one of us will belt out a Catholic tune like it was, like it's just like there.
And our cousin, also a Cradle Catholic, joins right in.
She does. We all know it.
And when the party really starts, it flips over to show tunes.
The show tunes, yes. That goes later into the night.
Yes, after the drinks have been poured.
We're going to have a whole like episode on show tunes. But speaking of episodes, our next episode, we are going to be talking about parenting in the 80s. Or was there parenting in the 80s?
It's called parenting.
Cue the crickets. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. As always, if you have anything you want to talk about, put it in the comments. Let us know what you think of this week's episode. We probably could do 4 more episodes on growing up Catholic.
We don't want to scare you.
We don't want to scare people
But it was
away.
a great upbringing.
It was.
Thanks for listening. Like, follow, and share.